So I want to play a little bit for you, just in case you're not familiar, or even if you are, to show you what the story is with GeoShred. So here we go. I know there's a little delay in the visual due to Zoom, but enjoy it. The one very interesting thing about GeoShred is that it's become a very popular instrument in India. And one of the reasons that it has is because GeoShred has this very unique capability to kind of seamlessly morph between the fretless world and the diatonic world. So you were noticing how I was sliding all the pitch like that. It's probably among the top instruments that allows you to do that in the world these days. If you get a chance, you can search like Carnatic music in GeoShred and you'll see some amazing players on there. But when I originally conceived of this kind of playing surface, I wasn't necessarily thinking about Carnatic music. I was thinking more in lines of playing like really cool leads and stuff. So my concept of making apps has always been that I want to create instruments that a novice can make music on, somebody who doesn't play music, that they can play quickly and just enjoy the process of making music, but also something that a professional would be able to take to the next level and do things that they wouldn't ordinarily be able to do. So a sound like this one is more of a lead tone, and you'll notice on the surface, on the playing surface, you have all the notes right now of a blues scale, right? It's just the B flat blues scale, and the B flat is highlighted because that's the root of the key. But really, in the patch, when you first go it, you can't play a wrong note. So if you just slide your finger across the playing surface, like this, you're playing the blues. So in case you decide to get GeoShred and check it out, I will tell you the first thing you want to do is go to a sound like this and go in a horizontal fashion of what we call the strings and kind of roll your finger along. You don't even need to use a bunch of fingers because you'll get some magic happening if you just go left to right. And there's a bunch of patches that actually have the scale dialed into the backing track. So some of the patches have a little backing track button up here, and if you hit it, all of a sudden you're going to be playing the blues in the right key and rocking and rolling. Yeah, so that's a little bit about GeoShred. I want to give up Pat the opportunity to say something about it because he's here. Can we unmute Pat so he can say hello?
Okay, yeah. Jordan, do you have any thoughts about what you'd like me to say about it? There's so much to say.
Why don't you, one thing we could do is play one of the saxophone video
yeah.
that I that we have. I'll switch to that, and while I'm prepping that, why don't you talk a little bit about SWAM and kind of lead into that, I guess.
Yeah, so there's a technology called physical modeling, which was developed at Stanford 30 years ago, and it's only now coming to market. And I have a whole story that explains why it was so delayed in coming to market. I'll be presenting that for AES on May 6th, but basically there have been a small number of us enthusiasts who've been pursuing this technology really for the last 10, 15, 30 years. And there's a group in Italy called Audio Modeling that has some really great saxophones, really great bowed strings, really great brass, and we have really great strings, sitars, electric guitars, and we're bringing all of those things together sometime this summer into GeoShred, so that people who use the GeoShred app will be able to use all of those types of instruments. And it's really just amazing what's possible to do. Jordan's going to play a video here which shows him playing some saxophone using GeoShred.
Here it is. Let's see if we'll be able to hear it, which would be nice.
Yay, it's hard to keep everyone on mute and have you hear all the applause and stuff, but yay.
Right.
No, it's really cool. I know, it's really cool. Thank you.
Awesome. So let's see, I want to switch to, yeah, there we go. I just want to switch for a second back to my iPad and show you something very quickly. It's amazing how good everybody's getting at operating all these online activities, right? This morning I didn't know how to do any of this. All right, so here, well, maybe some of it. This is an application that is not released yet, so you guys are getting a little bit of a preview. I assume you'll be able to hear it. As a matter of fact, it's so new, there's no presets for it. Years ago, I had an app called SampleWiz that was kind of a big hit because what it allowed you to do, it shook everybody, changed things in a big way because it enabled everyone to walk around with a sampler in their pocket. So besides doing musical things, I can't tell you how many arguments that I broke up by sampling the sound of somebody, or just, you know, sampling ridiculous sounds, or, you know, stopping the traffic because I had to capture a sound in the middle of the road. So finally I said to some developers lately, I said, you know what, we got to bring SampleWiz back, and we got to bring it back in a cool way and do some really cutting edge things with it. So, so that's what we're doing, and it's really preliminary, and I asked my developers if I could show this. So what's happening with this is that in the same way as you could before, you could sample. The interface is not what you'll probably see in the final product, or it's definitely not. But you have a button where you can do a sample, and you can do and you can talk and whatever, and then you say okay, and then
where you can do a sample.
Right.
Where you can do a
So
sample.
that's your basic sampling. It's super quick and easy.
Where you can do a sample. You can do a sample.
But also, this sampler goes into the whole granular kind of concept. So you can put it in a granular synthesis mode where you can do a sample and you can do and you can talk and whatever. You can do a sample and you can do start really messing with the sound. And it also has this concept of clouds. So you can have granular clouds. Let's see if I can make that happen. Of course, it doesn't want to work right now. It has a concept. It has a concept. It has a concept. It has in the cloud mode. Now it's in the cloud mode. This is very interesting technology. So it's looking at the waveform, and it's choosing like a cloud around the different areas of the waveform, which you can then play with and move. So with one sound, you can get all these variations. Change the size of the grain, change the spread of it. If it was in stereo, it would sound even cooler. Change the window. And since there are clouds, we also decided to add something called inner turbulence. So if something is moving around a particular area of the waveform, you can then set the turbulence so it jumps around like it's being blown by wind.
Clouds, so you can have that's the concept of clouds, so you can have
there you go, you can get a nice stereo. And there you have some of what the new sampler can do. It's going to be very, very powerful. And also in the spirit of what Pat and I have been working on for a really long time, it also is an MPE instrument. And so you can run it from like a C-board or an instrument. You can play it from GeoShred, which is probably one of the most powerful MIDI controllers out there today. Again, if you guys out here on our panel and connected with this conference want to hit me up for GeoShred Play, you want to do it, definitely send me a message and I'm happy to.
Yeah, we'll make sure these people, between Sean and Martin Luther, you got some incredibly talented folks who want to play with your stuff. So yeah, this is a good group.
Yeah, you guys got to play with it. It's a whole thing. And then you'll get it. And then you can, you know, if you want to get more into it, there's a whole world to kind of dive into, including learning how to be the best sax player on the planet without a sax. So you can do that too. So Brian, I'm going to pass it back to you for a second because I think I'm going to play some music for all of you as we kind of go into the next level of what's happening. You tell me.
Yeah, we're here. And the reality is, basically, you're going to lead into the party. So you basically, whenever it's time, you say, you know, we are now switching from the jam to from the demo to the party. I know people would love a lot more because no one's like, oh, anything you just showed us, man, that was a waste of time. I mean, I know you got another 14 things that are always so amazing.
Of course, there's things. You know, I'd love to talk a little bit more then about a couple of little things for sure. That might be really cool.
You get it every day. You're like, oh, everyone's thinking about GeoShred every day.
Yeah.
This is a treat.
Awesome. Well, you know what? I'll show you because, all right, thank you for opening that up. What I'd like to do then is I'll show you guys another video of really cool application of GeoShred, something really fun. And then I'll move on to a couple of other little things and then I'll do some playing. All right, so let me share my screen again and let me go back to my desktop and share. And all right, so what I want to do is, let's see what this one is. Swan, violin, cello. No, that's not the one. I'm looking for the one that I want to show you that I put on the desktop to hopefully make it easier, but does it really make it easier? Here it is. Okay, so this is a piece that I wrote and played on the piano and the violin at the same time, but of course it's the GeoShred violin, so check it out. There, I heard my applause. Now I'm happy. All right. So, all right, let me get out of there. Stop share. Maybe we'll do one more while we're on the roll here. Okay.
How do we deal with that as an interface issue? You're a sound guy. We can't have it where everybody's sound is bleeding into the room. We don't really want you press a button in here, canned applause. You kind of send hearts or clicks, but you miss the visceral response. How can we get that without having a full audio channel open?
I don't know, maybe we need to have some kind of gating or some kind of algorithm that's sensitive to the sound of applause. And when people actually make that sound, it cuts through the mute in a certain mode.
It's a good idea. Wow, new filter. So, anyway.
I don't know. I'm thinking Pat probably has a way in his head that you could do it, but that's the first thing that comes into my mind. So I'll play another one for you because these are the highlights really of the NAMM show. This is done, I believe, on the iPhone. The demos that I played were on the iPad, but we also wanted to show how you can run GeoShred on the iPhone because certain models of the iPhone have the 3D touch. So it's more like a Linstrument or a Seaboard where you can not only go left and right and influence the sound in all those ways, but you can also press into it. So check this out. This is a friend of GeoShred's, friend of mine, very talented young musician whose name is Gerald Peter, showing that ability. And the string sound, the string model. Rocking the house with his so one interesting thing to point out to all of you and for us to think about is that to think about the iPhone or the iPad as a musical instrument. As things have developed, our perspectives are changing. They're almost forced to change because of the power of the instrument, because of what you can do on an iPad. The type of expression is so deep. The musical brain to finger to sound has become so organic. And also because you can run these types of synthesis technology like physical modeling, which is so different than sampling. And then you can access it with every move of your finger. So you're almost like forced, if you will, to realize that, wow, this thing is like completely expressive and it's on an iOS device. It's crazy. So there's that side of it, but then there's also the side of it which is how it affects the world that we live in and how it affects the music business. So imagine you're a kid, and this is something actually that Pat had brought up as we were developing this and really understanding what it could do. Like you're a kid and you're in a house and you want to get an instrument and you're watching online and you see Gerald Peter play that. Like, and GeoShred Play costs $10, right? Like, are you going to go, is that kid going to want to just say, hey, buy me this $10, what's more likely to happen? Let's put it that way. Get the $10 app and learn how to play that and sound like that, or go to the store and buy like, you know, an $800 or whatever guitar that weighs a ton and it's, you know, just this, I mean, not anything against physical instruments. I mean, I still love them, they're awesome. But still, the reality that GeoShred, for, you know, the kind of instrument that it is, it's going to be $10. You know, or $25 for the pro. So it really, really changes things. And plus you think about like a place like India or these cultures where they need to slide and they need to have that control. And where are you going to get that from? You're not. I mean, unless maybe you buy like an instrument, which is a great instrument, but it's very pricey, or a seaboard, which we don't know where that's all at right now. So there's some realities with, you know, the business side of things that are really changing and are really important to consider.
Yeah, Juice just got, we didn't even cover that this show. Juice has a new owner. God, who knows?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And that's got everybody kind of like, whoa, what's going to happen? So I know Pat actually had a conversation with them very recently and knows kind of what's going on with that.
So what can you tell us, Pat?
So am I unmuted? So with respect to Android, I'm going to say just a little bit. I can say that there will be an Android version of GeoShred targeting Cyber Monday in the fall. I can tell you that it is definitely with Google's blessing. We have had a long relationship with Google the last 8 years, and hopefully we're going to see some fruit from that this fall. So stay tuned for Android.
And how's the situation with Juice?
We met with the Juice team at Pace last week. We're super thrilled about the acquisition, and we feel very comfortable that Android and all of the platforms that Juice supports are going to be well supported moving forward.
You can be a politician. I hope it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Very good to know.
Yeah. So I think I'll switch gears. I think I decided that because we're talking about tech, we need a balance. And I've got my 9-foot Steinway Grand over there. And it's actually right next to me. I thought I would play a little bit for you guys.
Shoshana's didn't even make it to Hawaii. It was in storage in California. It's coming actually to Miami. It's on a truck now. So anyway, cool. So
so that's my plan. I'm going to switch to that mode. Do a little playing for 10-15 minutes, and then you know, you'll go on with the festivities.
I will just break out the beer. That'll be beer.
Break out the beer. That's right, or whatever your choice is.
Very cool.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody. So I'm going to switch actually to my other camera, which is on the other side of the room, and do that for all of you. All right. Let me do all that. So I'm choosing my other camera. Let's see if we can see that. There's my piano. You guys see that? And I'm switching to the other microphone. I could be like an engineer if this keyboard thing doesn't work out.
I'm loving this.
Sound all right, everybody?
Yeah, sounds great. Yay!
Have a great night. Thanks for having me. Brian, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And look forward to seeing you all in person at some point very, very soon.